I'm 16 years old, I'm sitting in the dark, staring at a screen, and my heart is absolutely beating out of my chest. 6 hours earlier, I'd asked my mum if I could use her card to deposit $20 into my account to play some poker. She had no reason not to trust me. She said, yeah, fine. Over the next 6 hours, I kept chasing, I kept losing, and I kept depositing. By the time she woke up, I'd gambled almost $3,500 of her money. This was the first time I completely lost control. The first time I had gambled with somebody else's money, and it was the first night of a 20-year struggle with gambling. This is the raw truth of my gambling addiction, what I did, how far I went, and how eventually I found a way out. My first big life-changing win happened at 19 years old. Again, online, I was on Betfair playing roulette, and I'd have this thing where I'd just go the colours. I'd go the previous colour. I'd just bet the same colour again. So if it was 20 black, I'd bet black again. I was up to £1,000 a spin. So I was doing £1,000, red or black. I managed to compile a run of 12 straight blacks. So I'd made £11,000 on that run. However, I'd had a good run before that, and I actually got up to £20,000. So just to give you a bit of context, at 19 years old, I was working full-time in a gym. I was making £4.93 an hour. So my year's salary was about £11,000 or £12,000. And I just won £20,000 in one sitting. Again, that feeling, just euphoria. I was thinking of the holiday that I was going on, the cruise that I was going to take my girlfriend on, the car that I was going to buy. That was it. That was me. I was set for life. I was going to invest there. I was going to retire at 19 years old. Because I had had the accounts from when I was younger than 18, my account still wasn't verified, so I couldn't just withdraw it. So I had to go through a few loopholes, jump through a few hoops, and basically withdraw it via PayPal. So it took a couple of days to show up in my account. So every morning I'd wake up, straight to the computer, refresh balance, it's not there. I did this for 3 or 4 days, and then this one Thursday morning, I woke up and it was there. I was just, again, I couldn't believe I had this much money. I was in work at 2 p.m. that day. So this is about 10 a.m. And I'm like, oh my God, look at the amount of money that I've got. Again, this should have been an absolute red flag that there was no amount of money that I was happy with, and it was the gambling I was addicted to. But I started playing before I went to work that day. I thought, you know what, I'll just see if my luck's still in. I'll increase that 20,000 a little bit. I think the thought process in my head was, I started with this much and I made £20,000. If I start with £20,000, imagine what I can turn that into. So I started playing that day. By the time I went to work at 2 p.m, bear in mind, I'd only discovered this money 4 hours earlier. It only got into my account 4 hours before I was due to go to work. By the time I got to work, it was all gone. I'd gambled it all. I'd given it all straight back on roulette, on Betfair. It was gone. That was the first life-changing money for me. And I think, again, that was foundations laid for my gambling addiction for the next however many years it went on from there. I knew it was possible to win that life-changing money. So I just kept going. I kept trying. Again, it was probably the worst thing that could have happened to me so young. I was only 19 years old. Because I knew it was possible to win that life-changing money. As slim a chance as it was possible to win it. So I always had that mindset of, once I win the big money, I'll stop. But it never worked out that way. For the next however many years, my life just revolved around gambling.